Okay, so another important application of exponential growth is compound interest. Um, we have a formula here. A is P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. This will be given to you on a formula sheet, but it should look vaguely familiar to you. We've been studying a formula that is Y rather. Um, there we go. Y is A times 1 plus R raised to the T. So more or less these are the exact same thing. A is an initial condition, P was an initial condition. R is a rate expressed as a decimal, and T is time in years since the inception here. The only thing that's different is that you're multiplying your T by N and you're dividing your rate by N. So, and N in this case is found by how many times is it compounded. So one more time, A is just an amount. P in this case is an initial deposit, typically when you're working with compounded interest, because interest involves things like banks, certificates of deposits, things like that. R is a rate. You know, it'll give it to you as a percent. We want to change it to a decimal. N is the number of times compounded. And this is the number of times compounded per year. And that's going to be really, really important. Compounded per year. We'll write that coming down right there. And then, of course, T is time in years. All right, so down here we deposit $1,000 into an account that pays 8% interest. Find the balance after 1 year if the interest is compounded. And I give you 4 examples here. The first one is annually, next one is quarterly, C is daily, and D is monthly. Now let's figure out what N is going to be in each of these cases. Remember, N is the number of times you're compounding per year. So if it's annually, that's N equals 1, because that's once a year. And so we'll have A, we're trying to find the amount, okay, find the balance. A is, we deposited 1,000, so P is going to be 1,000 times 1 plus, our rate is 8%. Now remember, 8% as a decimal, you're going to move the decimal point over twice, so that is equal to 0.08. So we have 0.08 divided by 1 raised to the N, which is 1, times T, which is 1. And so we'll plug that into our calculator. We have 1,000 times 1 plus the rate, 0.08, divided by N, which was 1, raised to the, in parentheses, 1 times 1. Hit enter. And so that's $1,080. Now quarterly, okay, how many quarters are in a year? Think about how many quarters are in a dollar. There's 4. So N is equal to 4 if you're compounded quarterly. And so we'll have same deal. It's just we're going to change our N to be, instead of 1, we're going to go 4. And again, it's still T equals 1 year. So over here, same equation, but we're changing the N in the denominator, whoops, went a little bit too far, right there, to a 4, and the N in the exponent to 4 as well. And so in this case, we have the amount is $1,082 and rounding 43 cents. Now we'll compound daily. So think about how many days are in a year, and you're going to exclude leap years. So this is 365. A is equal to 1,000 times 1 plus 0.08 over 365 caret 365 times 1. And so here we'll have 1,000 times 1 plus 0.08 divided by 365, close the parentheses, caret, parentheses, 365 times 1. Hit enter. And so there we have $1,083.28 if we round. And then finally monthly, how many months are in a year? N is equal to 12. So A is 1,000 times 1 plus 0.08 over 12 to the 12 times 1. So we're just changing times 1 plus 0.08 divide by 12 caret in parentheses 12 times 1. And so we're getting $1,082.99. Now that last 9 here, we'll probably round that up, and so we'll end up being $1,083. So one thing you should notice is that, let me highlight some numbers here for us. There we go. Okay, when n is 4, it was 1,082.43. When n is 1, it was just 1,080. When n was 365, we had 1,083.28. And when n was 12, we had 1,082.89, or 99 rather, which was about 1,083 when we rounded. As n increases, the number of times you compound increases, the more money you make. Okay, from 1, we were just at 1080. Then at 4, we were at 1082.43. At n equals 12, we were at 1083, and then finally with n equals 365, we get 1083.28. So the more often you compound, excuse me, the more money you're going to make. So that's basically it. Again, what I really need you guys to know is to figure out how to find n. You know, quarterly, there are 4 quarters in a dollar, so n is equal to 4. Monthly, n is equal to 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Daily, 365. Annually, n is equal to 1. Those n values are not going to be given to you. They're just going to tell you quarterly, monthly, daily, annually, and you got to figure out what is the number that corresponds to n. Okay? Again, you'll be given this formula here, but you need to know what each variable stands for. And you got to remember that p is your initial value. 1 plus r is the rate, n is the number of times you're compounding, and t is the time in years.